Hello, today we're going to talk about laser protection advisor audits in the UK, and we're going to be looking in this particular presentation about documentation. So our good starting point is to look at the laser risk assessment. You need one of these for every type of laser, although you could put several lasers in one document if they have similar characteristics. So you'd list out your laser, and you can see this particular one is about a neodymium YAG laser used in ophthalmology. This is just a sample page. There are many more pages than this in our risk assessment. Between maybe 10 and 15 pages is typical. And this talks about the controlled area, so it's an assessment of all of the kinds of things that you'd expect to see: access control, laser signage, and warning lights, and they've all been assessed there. We'll come on to the risk rating in a minute, but you can see that the total rating there gives us a risk of 4. And having gone through all of those things, you'd then expect to see a summary page here. So at the top there, under further actions, you may have more actions that need to be undertaken to make this a safe working environment, where, for example, you found something as part of your risk assessment that isn't safe. So you might need somebody to buy some new laser blinds because they're damaged, or put up some more warning signs. The risk rating there comes from those impact assessment tables below. So you can see from negligible through to catastrophic on the impact of the risk, and in terms of likelihood, highly unlikely through to certain, and multiplying those two numbers together gives you the overall risk. And there it is, all summarised in a risk score there. So you can see our first score we looked at, that was a score of 4, is blue, categorised as unlikely to happen, low impact, and therefore in the blue section of the table here we don't need to take any further action. Moving on then to the local rules for the laser. So these are a set of local rules for the same laser that we were just looking at the risk assessment for. So you can see a summary section at the top there, description of the equipment that we have in use in the middle section, and here how do we demarcate the controlled area. So it's with the walls and doors of the unit, of the controlled area itself. We've got a section there about the management safety structure, who's the laser protection advisor, laser protection supervisor, and some contact details for those individuals. What's the nature of the hazards? So people who read the local rules are very aware what kind of laser this is, what kind of hazards are present in the room, and how do you protect yourself. And a section at the bottom here, a register of authorised users, and only those people on the register could use the laser. Another page of the local rules here talks about personal protective equipment. So glasses, laser glasses are an obvious example, and it will talk there about who needs to wear the glasses in the room, and really that's normally everybody, apart from in ophthalmology perhaps, where the surgeon is looking down an ophthalmoscope for the whole procedure and their eyes are protected therefore by the filter which would be in place in the ophthalmoscope, and would be checking the filter is present as part of our audit. Bits about warning signs and signals, prevention of use of unauthorised persons. Are we locking the doors? Do we have some sort of barrier in place across the doors? And a section then about safe working layout and safe systems of work in the room. Very important part of every set of local rules is the emergency procedures. So what to do in the case of a fire, and below that an ocular injury. So if somebody has an eye strike from a laser, where do they go to get treatment for that? It's very important that these assessments and treatments are carried out very quickly after the eye strike, because you're more likely to be able to do some mitigation at that point. What do we do if we borrow new equipment? And on the final page here, what about other people who might use the laser? So for example, an engineer who comes from the company to service the laser, what kind of local rules do they need to follow? So the local rules are supplemented by a list of duty holders. So you can see again the details of the LPA, laser protection advisor, and the laser protection supervisor here. And these should be prominently on display either in the laser room or somewhere easily accessible to people who are using the laser. Important to get signatures from people using the laser or who are present routinely when the laser is in use, to say that they understand what the safety procedures would be. So it's very important to have the local rules, but we also need to know that people understand and are following the local rules to keep things safe. So you'd have a register here of people who've signed to say they've done that. So moving on then to training records, staff using or present when the lasers are used may have any number of these. Original qualifications, am I registered as a medical practitioner, for example? Core of knowledge is a major training program for people using or present commonly when lasers are in use. Staff also may have their own laser safety training records, so a medical physics department may do 1 or 2 hour laser update sessions, for example, and we should have records of those to show the staff have had laser safety training on a routine basis. And there may also be training certificates from the people who supplied or manufactured the laser when it first came into use on how to operate it safely when using it clinically for patient treatments. Another way we might do training is if we have a core set of individuals who have the training from the supplier. In the first instance, there may be then a cascade training system in the department where those individuals train up other members of staff. So you may have a lead surgeon, for example, who then trains up other surgeons in the safe use of the laser. And they could use a certification system like this to sign off their colleagues when they're safe to use the laser. Similarly, in some applications, you may not have the actual surgeon or medical operator doing the setup of the operational parameters for the laser itself. That may be carried out by somebody else, maybe some nursing staff or ODP staff. So we'd have technical operators of the lasers in those circumstances who also could have cascade training or training from the supplier in the first instance. Each department should have standard operating procedures in place. So for each type of laser therapy or treatment that we're going to carry out, we would have a standard operating procedure that spells out how do we prepare the patient, which staff would be present, and things like the laser parameters that are used during the treatment, so the power and timing and other features of the laser. That all of those things after the procedure should be stored in the patient record. So as part of our audit, it will be good to see a set of patient records to just check, are they appropriately recording some of those treatment or all of the treatment parameters that we expect to see. So in the event of a problem in the future, we can go back to those records to find out exactly what the treatment the patient had was. For the laser itself, we would check the maintenance records, and there should always be an electrical safety check. Lasers operate at can operate at thousands of volts, and therefore electrical safety is a very important part of the assessment. And also, unless it's been measured by perhaps the physics department or the LPA, there should be an assessment of laser output in the maintenance record. So just on to some final documentation here for our own reference. So these are the control of artificial optical radiation at work regulations 2010, from which our laser safety for staff and public requirements come. And a nice manageable document here, the lasers, intense light source systems and LEDs, guidance for safe use, publication from the MHRA. This is a really useful publication for the Laser Protection Advisor. It has quite simple guidance, simple to understand, simple to read, the kind of thing you can share very easily with people. And it spells out clearly, you know, all sorts of things like what kind of signage should I have in place, should I lock the door, etc. The Health and Safety Executive, the HSE, who would inspect under the Health and Safety at Work Act, also have published their own guidance on the artificial optical radiation at work regulations. So again, it's another useful source of information for the Laser Protection Advisor. If you know that the HSE are coming into your site, this would tell you the kinds of things that you're looking for. And finally, a non-binding guide to the AOR directive, published in the UK, but for the European Commission. And this is a very detailed document. And it has a lot more detail than some of the other documents. There's quite a bit of the physics of lasers, more detail in there, and examples of calculations and things like that. So that's really, if you want to get into the science and the very detailed aspects of laser protection, this is a very useful document to access. Thank you.